I would like to have the pleasure to present Hydract, presented by Peter Espersen, CEO and co-founder. And Peter, I have given you a task in a very short time, 15 to 16 minutes. Why do we make a difference to society, and why is it a good investment case? And then in the end, we will take a few questions. So, Peter, I will let you have the scene from now.
Thank you, Michael. Pleasure to see you again. And well, it's quite a task to explain this just in 15 to 20 minutes. But let's see how it goes. First, I would like to just briefly explain a little bit about our company, just Hydract, our Hydract company in short. The Hydract technology has been developed since 2008 and is patented in most parts of Europe, in the US, Japan, and China. We have spent a lot of money developing the technology and our products over the years, and 2/3 have been funded by EU with 5.4 million euros and the rest by myself. All the development has been taken place in close cooperation with Carlsberg in Denmark, who, by the way, have no exclusivity regarding the technology. In 2019, we carved out all other activities from Hydract. So we relocated to Holstebro in the western part of Denmark, where we now are 9 people focusing entirely on the Hydract business. And the latest main event has been that we were listed on NASDAQ, First North Growth Market, in April this year. We had a pre-money valuation of 8.7 million euros, and we raised 4.7 million euros. And as you can see, we have quite a significant oversigning, which was we saw this as a sign of that we are actually hitting something in the public agenda. A short introduction, what Hydract does. Well, the Hydract business, the Hydract technology, is based on the fact that water cannot be compressed as opposed to air. So what we have done is that we have miniaturized hydraulic systems, and we have replaced hydraulic oil with clean water. We are using that to substitute or replace compressed air solutions in the industry. This is where we believe the big market is, and also where we can have a major impact on sustainability. So there's a lot of advantages by using water hydraulics. First of all, it's very energy efficient. It has a very high power density. You can make small, compact, powerful units. It's reliable, precise, and it's completely digital. So everything you can think of regarding IoT, Industry 4.0, artificial intelligence, we are actually well prepared for that. It's also a versatile technology. So even though we are focusing right now, as you will see in a minute, on the industry, and especially food and beverage, and in particular the brewing industry, our technology could actually be utilized in many other industries where they are using compressed air. We have a line of product offerings. First of all, our sanitary process valves, and we can expand and also include inline measuring equipment, software, and installation and commissioning. Our first step in the development of our business, and also where we believe we can make the quickest and have a very significant impact, is that we want to take flow control and reliability in the process in the food and beverage industry to a completely new level. And this is actually what we are doing. I will show you an example from Carlsberg in just a minute. And as you can see here, this is a rather big installation. This is 300 process valves sitting in a cluster, and it's actually one big mixing station where Carlsberg can introduce a completely new way of producing beer by use of mixing from a few base products. Speaking of impact, if we look at the society first, there's a reason why EU has decided to fund us with a lot of money, and that is they wanted to strengthen European industry. They wanted to strengthen innovation. They wanted to create new jobs, and they also favored our technology and our project because it was all about sustainability. We are actually reducing the use of energy and natural resources. We are not just greenwashing into something else. It's all also about improving the food safety. There's a global demand for more and more food and beverages, and all over the world, the demands for higher food safety is increasing continuously. This will never go away, and this is where we actually have a very good we can make a very good contribution to this. But apart from society and society in general, it will also have a huge impact on the businesses we are approaching. And if we take an example from the food and beverage industry, again, a brewing company, as we can see, and in our business case, we are actually enabling a brewery to reduce the variable cost for producing beer, for example, between 5 and 10%. This is quite a significant number, but provided that the customer is converting completely to our new technology, this is actually what is achievable. On the capex side, it's a coin with two sides. One is that you can actually more or less double the capacity on existing facilities, or you can decide to reduce the investment in greenfield projects. Just in time, on demand production of beer is actually a very important thing here, which gives the customer a huge advantage. You can produce by blending some base products when you need them in exactly the right quantity you need. You can do that, and this changes the lead time through production from weeks just to hours. So late product differentiation is a trend that we see a lot in the industry right now. There are a lot of new types of foods and in particular beverages on the market right now. We see hard seltzer, mineral water with alcohol is one example. It's growing, and it's growing every day. So the future is right now. We will see a lot of mixing products all over the world over the next couple of years, and it's coming fast. Speaking about sustainability in particular, as I mentioned at the beginning, we believe that real sustainability is about reducing the use of natural resources. It's not about converting to something else. It's good to convert into more environmentally friendly energy technologies. It's fine, it's good, but wherever it's possible, we should aim for reducing the use of natural resources. Taking Carlsberg, the brewery, as an example, if all the valves at Carlsberg were converted to water hydraulics, the energy used for operating the valves with pneumatics compressed air today would be reduced by far more than 90%. Because of this conversion into water hydraulics, it's also possible to reduce the use of water and cleaning chemicals dramatically. This is where we are gaining a lot of data right now from Carlsberg. Because of high precision reliability, we can also reduce the product waste. And finally, as I mentioned before, improved food safety is a very important thing in the years to come. Finally, about governance, we are dedicated to the ESG principles. But as all other companies who are being honest with themselves, we still have work to do. We just have the benefit, the advantage that we are a new company, so we can build things up in the right way. And finally, we have to be honest about what we're doing. We have to walk the talk. It's all about our own actions, and this is something we strongly believe in. So this was a short rundown, Michael, on what we are doing and our views on impact, both on society and also on the industry that we are actually trying to help the industry to become more green.
Perfect. Sorry, ask questions to the right. Peter, it was me who forgot to turn on the... I just have a rundown, a question first. The waste side is maybe often underlooked in your investment case. Do you have any measurements on how much waste you can save of people not or brewing companies not throwing out products because of late mixing? Maybe you can give a little bit of elaboration on that point.
It will be an elaboration, yes, because I think most food and beverage companies are keeping a lot of these informations to themselves. I think that accounts both for breweries, bottlers, for dairy companies. But we know that if you're brewing beer traditionally, you are brewing a certain quantity of beer, and when you send it to the filling line, in the ideal situation, you have a complete balance between the quantity of beer and the number of cans. And quite often, you will experience that either you have too much, you have some beer left, or you have some spare cans that you cannot use. And this is actually a problem. It's hard for me to guess, but
I guess.
Just 1% reduction would probably for a large size brewery account for millions.
Yeah, and the food waste, but I understand that companies really don't want to report on that because it's a bad story. So I understand you have a hard time. Yeah. And then there's a question. Besides Carlsberg, as you have, there's a lot of microbreweries in this space. Would your technology also be there? And there's of course the direct questions. Are you already addressing all of the microbreweries that we have here in the Nordic region? But we also have a lot of mid-sized breweries in Germany. So can you give a little bit? I know you can't say which you are attaching, but also whether you're looking down to that segment.
Yeah, as it's no secret that we are of course approaching different breweries, but also soft drink companies, dairies, because our technology is applicable to all these industries. They're actually all using the same valve technology. They're opening the same catalog when they are building a new plant. All of them, more or less. But if you look at from the brewing industry to the dairy industry, they have similar problems, they have similar situations, but of course there's a difference between the different industries. If you look inside the brewing industry, there's of course a difference between a big site as Carlsberg in Fredericia and a microbrewery. If you want to have the full advantage of our technology, it's about producing concentrated, strong products that you can mix and blend on demand. But that's a conversion of your processes from what it has been for 150 years or more in industrial brewing and into something new. It's just like what we are suggesting is actually just like going to a paint shop where you can have any color you want for a paint, but it's being mixed for your specific, according to your specific requirement. And this conversion is where also a microbrewery would have a major effect. It could give them a huge flexibility, both in planning and also in the product portfolio. But it's a new way of thinking. And this is where Carlsberg and Fredericia are first movers in the world.
Yeah. And then, there's a question here. All those advantages, have you been able to sell more? I think maybe you should state here, if there's new visitors, that Carlsberg is your only, or how you need to state it. It's the only showcase customer right now. But a little bit elaboration. I know everybody's want to know which one will be the next, and so I don't know whether you can elaborate a little bit about this part.
Well, I can do that. Yes, we have for over all the years that we have been developing and testing this technology, we have been focused a lot on Carlsberg and Fredericia, and that was a decision that was made years ago, because we had this good cooperation, and because in Fredericia they really proved to be first movers that were open-minded. So given the fact that we were a small company, a small organization with limited resources, we decided at that time to put all our eggs in one basket, more or less. And this is why we've been so focused on Carlsberg. So we have been allowed to develop and test our technology on site at Carlsberg. And this is also what has brought us so far, as far as we are right now. But we are at a level now where we are able to go out and to other breweries and other food and beverage plants. But until now, our only buying customer has been Carlsberg.
Yeah, and you are allowed to use Carlsberg as this as a reference customer. Is that correct?
That is correct. I'm not sure they would like us to bring people from Heineken or InBev to their site, but I think most others would be more than welcome. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, you have to remember that Carlsberg is with us in this latest EU project that will end here over the summer. So they also have obligations towards disseminating results and experience.
And I don't know how close you are to your customers. It's in the early stage, but do you see any? Are you seeing any pressure from boardroom decision down to the production people that you need to not greenwash? You need actually to change something in your process that will make you more green. Are you feeling that? Because I think we probably have a fight in your customers, the production people who want to do it like they did it the last 100 years, and the boardrooms that says, no, we need to tell a story, or we need to comply to these new standards. Can you?
Yes.
Are you seeing any more pressure on the production people, which you probably are the ones you are negotiating with to start with?
Yes. Yes, we can. And it's a little bit different from a customer to potential customer, the other potential customers we have. But we see it in many ways, either visits or inspections from very senior management from the board level. And we also see it, we get it as reactions from the more technical people we meet, where they say, well, we actually, no matter what, we have to reduce our carbon footprint. So no matter what, they could even end up in a situation where they would have to choose a technology just because it's sustainable. And then set some of the commercial and traditional considerations more aside.
Perfect. And there's a question here that maybe you can elaborate a little bit about that you are funding from the IPO. Much of that is going to build a sales organization. There's a question here whether you have this organization in place or you're starting to build it up.
We are building it up.
You're building it up.
We are building it up, but it's one thing is the sales organization, but it's a matter of also developing the complete company in a balanced way. But for sure, right now, after so many years, our technology is ready, and that's why we have to sell it, and that's why the majority of our effort will be put into sales, and that's where we are going to use most of the money that we have got from the IPO.
Perfect. I'm afraid that the time has run out. Thank you, Peter, for giving us an insight into where you are making a desirable outcome for the society on the green side, and it's nice to see that it follows also with advantage on the profit side for the companies. When those two go hand in hand, it's always a more clear case. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.